Texas fans, welcome back to the Lando Show. Got some good stuff lined up for you guys today, but before we get into that, just wanted to extend my thoughts and prayers to my guy over at Fanatic Perspective, who a lot of you already know through his YouTube channel as well, Stephen Gotti and his family, who just recently lost Stephen's mother, Renee, this week to COVID-19. So saw that news break and, instantly just kind of weighed heavy on my heart and wanted to get that out there and maybe just see if Longhorn Nation could come together and, kind of unite and help him and his family get through this in any way possible. So, I don't know if you're the praying type out there, if you wanted to just reach out and wish him the best and just let him know that you're thinking about him. I'm sure that would mean a lot. So you can find him on Twitter at fan_PRspective and also on YouTube at Fanatic Perspective as well, Stephen and Gotti. So I appreciate you guys in advance. Seeing all this stuff, all the hype is exciting again. It seems like this culmination of all of the aforementioned is kind of bringing this fan base together and uniting us in a way that seems like we really haven't since I would say probably following the 2009 national championship run. So again, that's another reason why I feel like this community that we're building here, it feels like it's only growing and getting stronger and stronger as I've started to develop relationships with other UT content creators on multiple platforms as well. And so it's just cool to see kind of everybody coming together with a common goal and all kind of thinking cohesively, right? I talk about that level of cohesion when you have a fan base that all seems to agree on multiple aspects and multiple facets of what's going on in the program currently. That's usually a pretty good sign that things are moving and trending in the right direction. And so that's just kind of what today's show is really going to feature most predominantly, is just the difference that this coaching staff has shown, and that the level of experience and just the feeling that I get when evaluating and seeing how they've sort of approached this whole process in this transition period from the Tom Herman era to the Steve Sarkisian era. So first and foremost, right, I wanted to kind of Chris Gilbert, who has kind of been swept under the rug a little bit. I just think that his hire, Chris Gilbert, if you don't know, is going to be taking over for Bob Shipley as the director of high school relations for the Texas football program. And, this guy, Chris Gilbert, a quick Google search will tell you all you need to know about him, but just the reputation that he carries and the level of respect that he has all across the state, not just in the DFW Metroplex. He hails from the Lancaster football program, where he was serving an incredible run as their head football coach down there, as well as I believe he was on the Region 3 board of directors for the Texas High School Football Coaches Association. So this guy, Chris Gilbert, right, basically what that means is we hear Sark preach in every conference, at least that I've seen, and press conferences, Zoom meetings, all this stuff, right? He one of the things that he talks the most about is just relationships, developing relationships. That seems to be kind of a key cog in his culture and what he's looking to build here. And so that's basically why he's bringing along Chris Gilbert, right? It's to maintain, and not just maintain really, but kind of establish a better relationship with the Texas High School Football Coaches Association, all the high school football coaches across the state, right? That Sark is preaching. We need them to know that this program is their program, and we talk all the time about, within the program, like a Division I college football program, who spends the most time with these players, right? A lot of times it's the strength and conditioning staff, more so than it is even the head coach, right? A lot of times guys aren't getting a lot of one-on-one time with their head guy. So being able to put your trust and your faith into guys to build and grow and mold and develop these relationships with these players who aren't always going to be under your, tender love and care, it's important. And so that starts at the high school level, right? So before they ever get on campus at the 40 acres and have the ability to spend time now with, Torrey Beckton, who's the new strength and conditioning coordinator at UT, replacing Yancey McKnight. Before all that, they've got to find ways to develop and establish relationships with these players and with the program through their head coaches that they're with at their high school program. And who is responsible for that? Well, that's Chris Gilbert's job now. That's his task. And so, like, a lot of times, in a vacuum, these kids, right, they want to know that their high school coach is leading them in the right direction. Like, if they're saying, hey, coach, what do you think about this school? I got an offer from Texas and I got an offer from Texas A&M. Well, he's going to speak more highly of the program that he's got a better relationship with. And so that's why it's important to stay ahead of the ball in that aspect, right? And just have that level or that level up, that heads up against other programs across the state. Like, this is a position that was actually created by Mack Brown in 2008. So it's not something that every program has. And so the fact that Texas does have money to spend, more so than really any other program in the country, right? They have the funds and the resources to pretty much do whatever they want. Well, it's nice to see them really prioritizing that now and trying to elevate levels outside of just players or just coaches, right? And so this staff, why to me it feels different is it's for all those reasons. Like, they're not just, they're going, it seems like they're trying to check boxes that haven't been prioritized or checked in years past. And so I just love to see that, and I wanted to kind of highlight that just as something that I really see and I'm really appreciative of having Steve Sarkisian now at the helm, right? I think he's been hired as, he's been the head coach for 48 days, and we're already seeing a gigantic momentum shift. And I've got a couple notes here that I just kind of wanted to highlight to explain that a little bit further. But, again, there was a time, like when you just look at these two coaching staffs, there was a time in which Sterling Gilbert in 2017, or I believe 2016, under the Charlie Strong era, was supposed to, be the savior and come in and save this program. And, at the time of that news breaking, whenever that seemed to be the hot topic, the hot coaching commodity, the guy that was supposed to come in and help, revolutionize this offense, that was it. He was coming from Tulsa, University of Tulsa, and that was his highest level of experience. Now, and the same is true for the rest of the coaching staff. Like when Tom Herman got here, it was mostly group of 5 assistant coaches that filled all those coaching voids and those coaching vacancies. Well, now Steve Sarkisian, you go down the list, every single one of these guys that he's brought on, all the way, from Jeff Banks to Kyle Flood to Pete Kwiatkowski to, you name it, right? All of these guys, every single one has Power 5 coaching experience, and that stuff matters. These recruits now, they pay attention to all that stuff, and so that's just one thing, just that extra level that going doing the dirty work, the extra level of just diligence and having a system in place to where, like, you're going out and getting the guys not only that you trust, but have that experience and that resume to back what you expect of them at the University of Texas. So that to me is extremely important. And just so looking at this class, what Steve Sarkisian has already done, again, like I said, 48 days now in his first official full recruiting class, right? He closed the 2021 class from the previous coaching staff, but the 2022 class is the one that's going to be officially his from start to finish. So that's the one I've kind of been focusing on. And, just looking at it, again, we talked about the importance of reestablishing and recruiting the DFW area, dominating the state of Texas in recruiting. Years past, we lose all the top players in the state to other schools outside, in other parts of the country. Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, USC, you name it. All these guys are leaving the state of Texas and going elsewhere. That has to be step number one towards getting this program back on track, keeping the best players in the state of Texas. And we're already seeing that happen right now. In just 48 days, Steve Sarkisian has sort of transcended recent history that the other two previous coaching staffs after Mac Brown weren't able to do. So, right now, if you just take a quick look at it, 5-star quarterback Malik Murphy, number one quarterback in the state of California, number 2 in the 22 class behind, as we all know, Quinn Ewers, right? So he's first and foremost, he's kind of like the class headliner. But then you look at number 1 running back in Texas, Jaden Blue, number 2 receiver in Texas, Evan Stewart, number 3 receiver in Texas, Armani Winfield, who I actually think, and I've been pretty vocal about this too, is the best receiver in the class. And that's over everybody, not just the guys that we have signed. And as much as I love Evan Stewart as well, I think Armani Winfield, his ceiling is even higher than that. So you just look at, to me, when I see Armani Winfield, not only do I see home run track speed, I see him winning with every route really in the book. Like you see, it's not just him getting the ball on quick screens and jet sweeps, fly sweeps, and just kind of winning with speed and space. He's doing it in a multitude of ways. And so not only does he have that speed, that dynamic route running ability, he's also 6'2". So he's like kind of your ideal prototypical wide receiver that checks all the boxes. That's kind of rare to me. And to see a guy that polished, with that polish of a route tree, who's just a junior in high school. He's not even a senior yet, right? This is the 2022 class we're talking about here. That's incredible. And so, and then again, moving on, you've got the number 2 corner in the state of Texas in Jalen Gilbo, and the number 5 inside linebacker in the state of Texas, Treble Johnson. All these guys are trending upward. And so then, then last night, right, Sark After Dark happens. We get not only Evan Stewart, but then you get the 2 crystal balls who, to me, it kind of felt too good to be true when I see 5-star corner Denver Harris, the number 1 corner in the state, and then 5-star offensive guard Devin Campbell, the number 1 guard in the state, the top graded offensive lineman, both crystal balled to Texas in a matter of minutes, really, by the 247 guys. It's like, this is just crazy. So like when you compare the 18 class to the 22 class, which at the time, was the 2018 class was one of the better ones that Texas had seen, with a top 5 finish in consecutive years, right? But you had Caden Stearns, 5-star, BJ Foster, 5-star, and then Jalen Green, DeMarvin Overshone, Brennan Eagles, Anthony Cook, and Joshua Moore, right? All those guys. I think Texas actually had 5 of the top 7 defensive players in the state in that class. Well, this class is already on pace to far outproduce that one, which we loved, and which has produced a bunch of really good players who are going to be key cogs for the 21 season, right? So that was important. But like you just see, you go down and look, like Denver Harris and Devin Campbell are both top 10 players in the country per, 247's composite rankings. Caden Stearns, the top graded overall guy from the 18 class, was 19th. And I don't think it's far-fetched to assume that Malik Murphy finishes there inside the top 10 as well. So that would give Texas really 3 top 10 5-star players from the 2022 class alone when it's all said and done after their senior years. Like, you think about it, guys, like Malik Murphy hasn't even played a single – apologize for the cut there, but getting back to kind of where I was going with the Malik Murphy deal, like it's this guy hasn't even played a single varsity snap yet in his high school tenure, thanks to COVID-19 shutting down his season as well last year. So just imagine the type of hype that this already 5-star kid is going to generate once he's actually playing varsity snaps again and under the Friday Night Lights. And, we've already seen just the kind of the charismatic type of leadership, the contagious personality that he has and brings with him is something, aside from his talent, or along with his talent, that guys really want to play for and that they're going to follow closely suited with. And we're already seeing wide receivers, the top 5, top 3 wide receivers in the state already just, kind of joining suit or joining up and joining forces with them because they want to play with this guy. And we've heard guys, Nino's Corner has referenced that. I've heard Texas Football Talk reference that. I've heard Texas Homer reference that. It's everybody knows the type of player, the contagious, charismatic personality that this kid brings, along with what he could potentially be as a quarterback. And so, he fits the perfect mold for the Steve Sarkisian type, right? He obviously has a type. when it comes to quarterbacks. And, you look back at Mac Jones last year, who wasn't the most athletic, dynamic runner, in a multifaceted dimension as compared to Bryce Young, right? A lot of people thought that was going to be his job, but Mac Jones was the more polished, prolific passer. And Steve Sarkisian's offense is, a lot of it, a huge part of it is being able to deliver the football not only accurately, but on time as well, and make quick, rational decisions. So definitely a type there for Steve Sarkisian. But again, headlined by Malik Murphy, there's the sky's the limit for this guy, finishing as potentially another top 10 recruit in this class. And just can't wait to kind of see everything continue to steamroll, and just the domino effect, right? Just the snowball effect following each and every single one of these guys. Just, it seems like they're coming, boom, 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 one after another. And it's because they understand these players are feeling the momentum too. And they know there's only so many spots to fill, that we have to offer for one, any one class. And so if that offer comes out there, and kids are just taking their opportunity and jumping at it before they miss it. So again, I wouldn't be shocked here if this class finishes inside the top 3 and one of the best in Texas football history. So I can't wait to see how it continues to all play out, and I'm excited to keep talking and developing relationships with you guys as well, and just following along for the ride. It's going to be fun seeing where we started these past 10 years, and just kind of like the roller coaster ride through the previous 2 tenures, and then seeing where we could potentially go now. I just I really can't wait. So